I've heard you and I've heard others at the White House talk about the VA as having a good record on dealing with the backlog of claims and actually praising the VA on this issue. In light of the way this, as we learn more about problems not just in the Arizona office but in other parts of the country, are you still saying that you think that the Veterans Administration has done a good job in dealing with the backlog of claims? I mean, are you still going to say that?
I appreciate the question, John, and I think it's important to note, and I tried to the other day when this came up, you're conflating two separate things. The disability claims, the backlog in disability claims, is a specific problem and challenge that the VA and the White House and others in the administration have been aggressively attacking. And that is where you have seen a 50% reduction in the size of the backlog year over year from this point to a year ago. And that has been important progress. And the size of that backlog increased significantly when this administration, because our veterans deserve it, made the decision that there would be a presumption of acceptance of a claim if you were a veteran claiming problems associated with exposure to Agent Orange. That's the first time that's ever been done. That's what this administration did. If you were a veteran of the first Gulf War and you felt that you were a victim of problems associated with exposure to that in that war, and if you were a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan and you experienced post-traumatic stress disorder, again, your claim would clear a hurdle automatically under this process that we established in this administration because we believe our veterans deserve it. That immediately increased the population of people who had disability claims added to the backlog, and that backlog has been a focus of intense work and attention by the VA and the administration in general. On the matter of the absolute requirement that our veterans get the health care and services that they deserve, and they do, they get that in a timely fashion. The revelations, or at least the allegations that have emerged from the situation in Phoenix, I think have been greeted in terms of reaction in the manner that Secretary Shinseki suggested yesterday, with a great deal of anger and frustration. And if they prove to be true, people will be held accountable. But these are matters and other issues that have been discussed in the wake of those allegations that are properly under review at the order of Secretary Shinseki, under investigation at the recommendation of Secretary Shinseki by the Independent Inspector General. And as you know, the President and Chief of Staff here have responded to Secretary Shinseki's recommendation by sending one of the President's most trusted aides over to VA to help with that review, to work with Secretary Shinseki on that review. So I think that reflects the seriousness with which we approach this matter, our concern about some of the allegations that have been made. But I just wanted to make sure that it was understood that there is the disability claims issue is not the same issue that is being discussed when we talk about the allegations in Phoenix.
I think part of the confusion is when you and others have been asked about the problems in terms of veterans getting the health care that they need and deserve, you've answered with talking points on the disability claims backlog. So are you really, are you suggesting that this is a problem that is limited to the Phoenix office?
I think that there is an active review and as well as an investigation by the IG that will determine both what happened in Phoenix and I'm sure what happened elsewhere if some of the other allegations that we've seen merit investigation. What I've been saying is that under Secretary Shinseki's leadership, there has been a firm dedication to providing the kind of services that our veterans deserve. It's reflected in some of the decisions that were made to increase access to disability claims and to health care. We have, under his leadership, reduced veterans' homelessness by 24%. We've provided post 9/11 GI Bill educational benefits to more than 1 million students, and we have decreased the disability claims. My point is that when I talk about the progress that has been made, I have been referring to questions about Secretary Shinseki and his leadership of the Veterans Affairs Department. And that progress has come on his watch, and he certainly deserves credit for it.
Do you think it sounds strange, though, given the evidence that we're seeing coming out and the suggestions that veterans have actually died waiting to get
I think the word you used is essential because you said the suggestion. And this matter is under investigation. I would point you to what the IG said yesterday.
But you are praising the VA for all the things that have done under been done under Shinseki leadership.
So let me just explain the way you just asked that question. You're saying there's a suggestion that something terrible happened in Phoenix, and that's under investigation. All we know is that it's a suggestion.
You don't think there's evidence that there's been a real problem with the quality of health care that our veterans are getting?
I think
you don't think that this is. We still need to study this further. You don't think there's enough to act on right now to say that our veterans aren't getting the care that they need?
We are acting on the allegations and the suggestions that you pointed out, and I would point you to what the IG said yesterday about his ongoing investigation into that.
Investigate more.
You're saying we shouldn't? We should just accept allegations as true without investigating them? I don't think that would be a normal procedure. Meanwhile, we are moving aggressively in a host of areas to ensure that our veterans are getting the services and the care that they deserve. And that's reflected not least in the fact that the President has requested increases in the budget for the VA every year he's been in office in a time of very tight budgets. And he has insisted, when it came to the serious matter of the disability backlog, that we attack that problem with aggression and with substantial resources, and that's resulted in the reduction in the backlog. And that reduction needs to be eliminated. I mean, the backlog has been reduced, but it needs to be eliminated, and that's an important part of making sure that our veterans are being taken care of.